Welcome. How are you all? Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Good evening. Hi. Welcome, dear Ola. How are you? What is your beautiful name? Hi, Nahla. Welcome. How are you? Here is your good name. Welcome, dear. Hello. Hi. How are you? Hi, dear Elena. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear. Hi, dear Rose. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Safan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Thank you so much, dear. Lots of love. Hello, dear Taha. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Hamza. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear. Hard to write, but let's try it. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Amalcia. Here is your good name. Welcome. How are you? Hi, dear Sabina. Here is your good name. Welcome, dear. Hello, dear Lily. Here is your beautiful name. Hi. Welcome. How are you? Hi, dear Vidyut. Here is your good name. Have a good day to all of you. Hi, dear Karthik. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Remas. Welcome back. How are you doing today? It is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Avreen. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Mansi. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hello, dear Genesis. Here is your good name. Welcome, dear. Let's see who is next. Hey, dear Aradhya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Katan. Here is yours. Hello, dear Girish. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Vansh. Here is yours. Hello, dear Meaty, here is your great name. How are you? Thank you so much for joining, guys. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. And let's see who is next. Hi, welcome, dear Samiksha. Here is your great name. How are you? Have a good day. Hello, dear Rainu. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Gurjar. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? What are your nickname you have? Hi, dear Camila. Here is yours. Welcome. Oh, Radhe Shyamji. Welcome back. Are you the same? How's your eye? Hello, dear Mariniso. Here is a good name. How are you? Hello, dear Ben. Here is yours. Hi, dear Shelly. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Shella. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hi, dear Around. Here is your good name. Welcome. How are you? Hey, dear Jew. Here is yours. Hi, dear Adele. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Yadu. Here is yours. How are you? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's see who is next. Rimpy. Hi, dear Rimpy. Here is yours. Hey, dear Chunky. I like your name, dear Chunky. Here is yours. Thank you so much. Hello, dear Naila. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Ilya. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Anna. Here is yours. Hi, dear Samiska. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Evelyn. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Jayanti. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Mau. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Kaushik. Here is yours. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear Amir. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. Hi, Asha. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Welcome, dear. Hi, dear Saharan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Mihira. Here is yours. Welcome, guys. Hi, dear Katze. Here is your good name. Katze for you. Hi, dear Azam. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ariana. Hi, do you remember me, Romesa? Yes. Welcome. How are you doing today? Hi, Ariana. Welcome. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Romesa. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hi, dear Rukaya. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Hanisha. Here is your good name. Welcome. Let's see who is next, guys. Muskan. Hi, Muskan. Welcome. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Careless. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Sarah. Here is yours. Hello, dear. What's a good name? Sabni. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Zamran. Hi, welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. Welcome, dear. I love you both. Sorry, I couldn't watch your live. I was a bit busy. How are you? I am good, dear. How about you? Love you too, dear. Thank you so much for joining again. Hi, Zinura. Here is your great name. How are you? Guys, double tap on your screens if your name got done here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free of cost. Hi, dear Zoya. Here is yours. Hello, dear Arnav. Here is your good name. How are you? Janvi. Hi, Janvi. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear. Hi, Zubgaji. Welcome back. I am good. How about you? Walaikum salam. Here is yours. Yes, because to because morning light was cutted because of the electricity issue. Saharan. Hi, Saharan. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Akam. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Alicia. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Asta. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Shahnur. Here is yours. How are you? Your full name is Shahnur Alu? Darshu, welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. How are you? Kiwi, please. No, it's weird. We're not allowed to use the real name. Sorry. It's okay. Kiwi is cute. Just like you. Here is yours. Hi, dear Najwa. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Sakina. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? It's okay. Hi, dear Zule. Here is yours. How are you? Thank you so much for joining, Subadi. Hi, Lucas. Here is yours. Hello, dear Shukrana. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Rupam. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hello, dear Honey. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Mehak. Here is your good name. Hello, dear. I am good, dear. Rukaya. Rukaya, your English name was done in Arabic. So is yours. Hi, ma'am. Dan part of Hi, welcome back. How are you? What was your name? Kabir? Kabir Khan? Hello, dear Aruhi. Here is yours. How are you? एक तो ये नेटवर्क इस नेटवर्क से पता नहीं क्या दुश्मनी है नेटवर्क को मुझसे दुश्मनी कुछ ज़्यादा ही नहीं इसके बाद नहीं नहीं शायद पता नहीं लाइट का कोई भरोसा नहीं है हाय नोमित वेलकम वेलकम बैक आयशा हाउ आर यू हियर इज योर्स हाउ आर यू हेलो डियर लियाम हियर इज योर ब्यूटीफुल नेम पता नहीं हाय हलीमा ओके व्हाई नॉट डियर here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Mathilde. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Sandy. Here is yours. Welcome. Farzana. Hi, Farzana. How are you? Here is your good name. Hi, Nomad. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear Anaya. Here is yours. We are fine, and you I'm good too, dear. How about you? Meerab, hi Meerab, welcome. Here is yours. I am good too, thank you. Guys, double tap on your screens. Hi, dear Jyoti. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Shalin. Here is yours. Hi, dear Uruj. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Alia. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, Ati. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, here is your फिर से नेटवर्क अरे यार क्यों नेटवर्क खराब हो रहा है बार बार Hi Aiza, welcome. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Fabiha. Hi Fabiha. Here is yours. Thank you so much. Lots and don't forget to press subscribe. And the network is not networking. पता नहीं क्यों मुझे इस नेटवर्क पे गुस्सा आ रहा है खराब होता है बार बार ये जी जी शिवका जी Hi, welcome Milena. How are you? Welcome back. How are you, dear Milena? Here is your good name. I am good. How about you? And a bit angry because of the network. Hi Zayan. Here is a good name. How are you? Hello, dear Bonnie. Why not, dear Bonnie? Here is yours. अभी अभी तो start किया मैंने dear. जल्दी पता नहीं कब तक जब तक नेटवर्क चलेगा शायद. Hi Jia. Welcome. How are you? Hi Sumaya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Cherry. Here is your good name. Hi Roham. Here is your Why are you angry? Because of this poor network. Hi Evelyn, here is yours. How are you? Whenever I start the stream and it's lagging badly, and I literally lost many of my viewers because of this network. Hi Habib, welcome. Here is yours. Hi dear Tavino. Here is your good name. How are you? Hey dear Haley. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Lisa. For you. Appy. Yeah. Yeah, dear. Hi, Hasham. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Miriam. Here is your good name. Welcome. Do like and subscribe. How are you? How are you, dear Umer? Hi, Umer. Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Rania. Here is your good name. Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Hello, dear Al Jazi. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, thank you so much. Hey, dear Ardan. Here is your good name. Thank you so much for your love and support, guys. Let's see who is next. Anyways, let's move to the next name. Hi, Kim. Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Shiyema. Alia, dear, this is your second name. Here is yours. Hi, Mansi. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Kiki. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, Seema. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hi, dear. मेरे नाम के पास में है आपका नाम है क्या हाँ जी क्यों मैंने देखा है ना Yes. Hi, Seema. Here is yours. How are you? Let's see who is next, guys. Thank you so much, Rukaiya. Where are you from? Let's see who is next. Seema and Seema. Rhyming names. Here is yours. हाँ, उससे ही पता चल सकता था और तो कोई वो नहीं है. ठीक है, thank you. Hi dear Nivea, here is your good name, welcome. How are you? Umar, hi Umar, here is your beautiful name. You are from Iraq. Oh, nice to hear. Hi Chiku, here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Yolanda. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, Mariam. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Aisha. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Ayat. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear. मैंने कब बोला? मैंने पंजाब बोला था तो गुजरावाला पंजाब में ही है. Hi, Nora. Welcome. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello. Take it, take it. Hi, Iman. Here is yours. You want a teddy bear? Take it, dear. Hi, Mahira. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. यही बोला था भतीजे. Hello, dear Sanjay. Welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Ruya. Here is your good name. Double tap on your screens. हाँ हाँ संजय जी कब का आपको पता नहीं चला सच में. Hi Ira, here is yours. Hi dear Avika, here is your good name. Hello, mine. Welcome, what's your good name? Hey dear Avis, here is yours. Hello dear Fatima, here is your beautiful name. How are you? आयशा आप ही के आगे भी बोलो क्या कह रही हो. Hi dear Dina, करो करो अभी करो. Hello dear BT, here is your good name, welcome. Hello dear Saf, no Saf or Safi, here is yours. Hello dear Anhad, here is your good name, welcome. Hi dear Aryan, here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Munashira. Oh wow, what a unique name you have. Munashira. Here is your जाओ फिर भाई. Hello, dear KM. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Why are you spamming, Alishba? Why? I am good. How about you? Haley. Hi, Haley. Welcome. How are you? Oh. Just give me 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Thank you so much. Hi, Joyce. I am good. How about you guys? Here is yours. Thank you for asking. Hi, Zainab. Welcome. How are you? Hi, dear Neil. Here is yours. Double tap on your screen. Let's see who's gonna be the 30 liker. Hi, Mariam. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Hello, dear Rame. Here is your good name. अभी मुझे आईफोन चाहिए सबको कि मेरे लिए दुआ करें मुझे आईफोन मिल जाए. ओके मिल जाएगा आपको. सब दुआ कर दें इनके लिए प्लीज़. हाय सकीना, here is yours. Hello dear Julia, here is your good name. How are you? Hi dear hi, here is yours. Hello dear Dua, here is yours. Everyone knows already. Hey Larry, here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Kenzie. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear. Thank you. Have a good day. Vismaya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear BT. Here is yours. Good job. Thank you, dear. Don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. So we have Zulma. Hi Zulma. Welcome. Hi dear Noor. Here is yours. How are you? Hi. Thank you so much, Amy. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello dear Larry. अभी नहीं चीनी भाई. Here is a good name. Hi dear Salam. Oh, I don't understand this language. Can you please write in Urdu or English or Hindi? No, I can't understand Hindi, but yeah, I can understand. But I can understand English. Hi, Duran. Welcome back. How are you? Hi, dear Paula. Here is yours. Hello, dear Teen घंटे तक. Evis. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Vihyu. Here is yours. मैं ठीक हूँ आप कैसी हो दुरार थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग गाइस डबल टैप ऑन योर स्क्रीन हम अभी तक वहीं पे अटके पड़े हैं यार लाइक क्यों नहीं करते हो हाय नस्रीन हाउ आर यू हियर इज योर्स वेलकम हाय डियर पूजा हियर इज योर गुड नेम हेलो डियर अमोल भाई के एग्जाम्स चल रहे हैं तो दैट्स व्हाई ही इज बिजी इसलिए वो नहीं आ रहे हैं कल और परसों आए थे और बता के गए थे हाय माइलो हियर इज योर्स कि मेरे एग्जाम्स चल रहे हैं उन्होंने बताया था थैंक यू यू मोस्ट वेलकम डियर हाय एरिका हियर इज योर गुड नेम हाउ आर यू हाय डियर रेस्टन हियर इज योर्स हाउ आर यू हाय डियर मेका here is your good name hi dear Ira Here is yours. Hello, dear Eliza. Here is your beautiful name. Do like and subscribe. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Purvi. Here is yours. We are literally stuck on 28. I can't believe this. Yes, Zamran, क्या हुआ है इतना लंबा मासी जी इतना लंबा लिख दिया है भाई लिखती हूँ 1 मिनट लिखती हूँ पहले लाइक करो सारे जल्दी Guys, if your name got done here, so you have to like, guys. One name equals one like. I have wrote so many names, but you guys are not liking. Can you tell me the reason, please? Sam, hey Sam. Here is yours. Hi, dear Kritika. Here is your good name. How are you? I don't know why the sand is going. Here's so many sand. Let me fix this first. Let me fix this. जमरान नहीं जामरान जामरान आपका नाम जामरान है ओह अच्छा हाय वानिया वेलकम हाउ आर यू अब मैं तब लिखना स्टार्ट करूँगी जब आप लाइक करोगे ठीक है ना मैं भी नहीं लिख रही जो बाबा नाराज हूँ मैं जामरान क्या मतलब आपके नाम का इतना यूनिक सा नाम है आपका ये सैंड पता नहीं क्यों इधर सारी एक साथ इकट्ठी हो गई है मैं उसको ठीक कर लूँ ठीक है वालेकुम अस्सलाम Yeah, I am fine, dear, but I am waiting to like. Nobody is liking. I have wrote many names, like many, literally many, but nobody is liking. So I am disheartened. Lucky, hi Lucky, welcome. How are you? अभी भी हम 28 पे ही अटके हैं यार मैं भी नहीं लिख रही जाओ मैं भी नहीं लिख रही हम कमेंट पढ़ते हैं ठीक है Thank you for subscribing. Hi Amal, कैसी हो? Welcome. Hello Zajid, how are you? Have to complete 30 likes, just two more. Naza, do like the like please. Let me fix the sand first. Come on. Double tap on your screens. Who subscribed? Naza. Hi Naza, welcome. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Pascal. Hi Pascal. Here is yours. Hello, dear Fatima. Here is your good name. We are literally stuck on 29 right now. Come on, guys, double tap on your screens. Have to click. have to have to break this 29. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Hi, Anna, Lucy. Hello. Hi, Sajid. How are you? Guys, double tap on your screens. Now have to complete 35 right now. Alina, hi Alina, welcome. Okay, let's try Zajid. Hi Zajid है यार क्या कर दी है मैंने Zajid. Hi Zajid. Here is yours. Welcome. Let's see who is next. अभी और सॉरी मासी हमारे स्कूल में 2 इशाल और 2 ईमान है. वाह वाह क्या बात है. Hi dear Furkan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Ira. Here is your good name. Double tap on your screens. Let's see who is next. Mehrunisa. Let's write Mehrunisa for you. Here is yours. Hello, dear Luki. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Lion. Here is yours. Alicia Zahra. Okay. Here is your good name. How are you? अस्सू पंजू नहीं होता ये अस्सू पंजू होता है हाँ हाँ फेवरेट गेम है मेरा फेवरेट हाय अलीना वेलकम अहमद हाय अहमद हाउ आर यू हियर इज योर्स अब हम 31 पे अटक गए हैं अहमद नहीं लिखा अहमद ने लाइक भी नहीं किया ना अहमद ही लिखा हुआ है यार सामने मैंने अहमद लिखा हुआ है और मैं कह रही हूँ अहमद हेली वेलकम आज एक तो मॉर्निंग वाली स्ट्रीम में हमारी लाइट चली गई थी पता है उसके बाद से सिर घूमा हुआ है हाय असगर वेलकम और मुझे गुस्सा भी आ रहा है पता नहीं बात है hey stay here is yours welcome back how are you और मुझे लाइक नहीं कर रहे ना मेरा दिल कर रहा है कि मैं सब्सक्राइबर मोड ऑन कर दूं फिर आराम से लिखेंगे हम हाय मिंसा वेलकम ऊपर से ये नेट बार खराब हो रहा है here is yours hello dear Noor here is your good name how are you hello dear Karina here is your good name welcome hello dear Aksa here is your beautiful name hi Shehroz welcome double tap on your screens. Hello, dear Hardik. Here is a good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Liza. Here is yours. Welcome. You're most welcome, dear. Thank you. Let's write Ronaldo for you. Let's see who is next. Hi, Murtaza. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Welcome. Hi, dear Mustafa. Mustafa, yeah, na? हाँ, Mustafa. Musafa. Oh, अच्छा. Musafa, here is yours. How are you? Hi, Lena. Here is a good name. Welcome. Do like and subscribe. Hi, Ruxana. Here is yours. How are you? Tarshu, welcome back. How are you? Hey, Murtaza. Here is a good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Aurora. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Oh, Nemal. Hi, Nemal. Welcome. How are you? दाशु हम एक गेम खेलें बोलो खेलें दाशु Aswad. Hi, Aswad. Welcome. How are you? Hello, Jessica. Here is a good name. Hi, dear. Oh, we have another. Ahmad, are you the same one? Hansha. Hi, Hansha. क्या हुआ है दाशु बोलो भी Here is yours. Hi, Musa. Here is a good name. Hello, dear. Yeah, I remember you, dear Musa. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Hi, Elodie. Here is yours. Quick question क्या था? अच्छा गेम खेलें हम? Let's see who is next. Okay, अब मैं यहाँ पे एक लेटर दूंगी. आपने उस लेटर से एक कंट्री का नाम बताना है. ठीक है? So our first letter is Z. Name the country starting with the letter Z. अरे thank you so much. कंट्री का नाम बताना है दाशु अपना नहीं. Sultan is the winner. Bhatt is the winner. But Arifa is the winner. Yeah, she said first. Oh God. क्या गिरा है? Let's write Arifa. Hi Arifa, welcome. How are you? Okay guys, our question नहीं सुनो कोई बात नहीं. Our next letter is G. Hi Gracie, welcome. Here is your country. Name the country starting with the letter G. Oh nice, Darshu is the winner. Hi Jolina, welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Mubarak. Hi Mubarak, welcome. Here is your beautiful name. Thank you, you're most welcome. Let's try Sania. Gorilla Masi is a country. No. कौन सी country है गोरिल्ला मासी नाम की? Hi Sania. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Hello. Next. Okay. Next letter is A. Hi Arif. Here is a good name. Welcome. Switzerland. Nice. Africa. Oh, Darshu is the winner again. Hi Zishan. How are you? Here is yours. Double tap on your screens. Argentina. Who said Argentina first? Arifa is the winner and then Zamran. Hello, hi. How are you? अरे जीशान भाई मत करो. Hi Sargi. Here is yours. How are you? Hi Ann. Here is a good one. How are you? Welcome. Let's see who is next. Okay, is F. लैग हो रही है. आप आपकी आवाज़ नहीं आती. माइक लो. माइक है मेरे पास. दो माइक है मेरे पास लेकिन उसमें से मेरी आवाज़ सही मुझे अच्छी नहीं लगती. आयज़ा, हाय आयज़ा. ये नेटवर्क के प्रॉब्लम की वजह से स्ट्रीम भी लैग कर रही है और आवाज़ भी नहीं आ रही है. हाय Francis. Here is yours. How are you? Zarish. Hi Zarish. Welcome. फिर से अटक गया है ना. ऐसा नेटवर्क खराब है ना. Hi Ilham. Welcome. How are you? Thanks. You're most welcome, dear. Let's see who is next. है ना. अभी भी स्ट्रीम अटकी हुई है ना. मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है क्या. या तो मेरी आवाज़ रुक गई है आना. अरे लैगिंग. Hi Nelly, welcome. How are you? Here is yours. अभी आ रही है. क्या दिखे कुछ नहीं रहा. क्या दिख कुछ नहीं रहा है. मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही मैं क्या करूँ. नेटवर्क का मैं क्या करूँ सच में. मैं बहुत परेशान हूँ. काम. निशा रोही. अटक गया है लगता है फिर से. Hi Noor. How are you? Here is yours. Hi Sarah. Welcome Sarah. How are you dear? Here is yours. टावर की क्या करो. हालात तो उससे कूदने वाले हुए में. हाय मेलिस. वेलकम. हाउ आर यू. ठीक है ना जमरान. जामरान. जामरान. फिर से अटक गई है शायद. VEMOVS. क्यों नहीं आती हो सारा. Hi Nemal. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Amna. Hi Amna. How are you? Oh, क्या हुआ है तबीयत को. Get well soon dear. Hi Hala. Here is a good name. Welcome. Hello dear Alishba. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Maya. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Hushi. Here is yours. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear. आपी हाँ जी बोलिए. Mia. Here is your good name. How are you? कल परसों तो मैं गर्मी की वजह से बेहोश होते होते रह अरे अरे टेक केयर ऑफ योरसेल्फ. मैं आपका माइंड रीड कर सकता हूँ. कर लो. मुझे आज तक अपना माइंड नहीं पढ़ना है. आप पढ़ लो. पढ़ो जरा. पता चले क्या चल रहा है मेरे माइंड में. Hi Christian, here is yours. How are you? Welcome. ज़्यादा ही सैंड मैंने आगे कर लिया. Let's write Farid. Hi Farid, welcome. How are you? Let's see who is next, guys. आप कोई भी 1 से 10 के बीच में एक नंबर सोचो. सिर्फ सोचो या फिर आपको बताऊं भी. मायरा, हाय. सोचूं. ओके सोच लिया. आयशा जाके क्यों नहीं वीडियो देख लो. जमरान ने भी देखी है. हाय रेहान, वेलकम. आपको क्वेश्चन के आंसर्स मिल जाएंगे सारे डियर. हाय रेहान, वेलकम. अभी उसका डबल करो. ये ट्रिक मुझे पता है. अच्छा चलो कर दिया डबल. आ गए.